The one and only reason so many sales professionals struggle to lose stubborn fat is because they're inconsistent with their diets. Maybe it's due to travel, eating out, stress from work, or a little bit of everything. But it doesn't matter, because in this video, I'm going to show you the 4 steps to finally achieve consistency with your diet, even if you've been on this weight loss roller coaster for decades. If you don't know me, my name is Kevin Heinz, and for the past 6 years, I've been helping sales leaders build lean, strong, high-performance bodies through my one-on-one coaching program, SalesBody. We've helped 900 sales directors, account executives, VPs, regional managers, and more get results by getting a system designed for the 24/7 sales grind. And today, I'm showing you a critical part in how we do that. So let's get into it. Now, before I get into the 4 steps of the video, there are only 2 possible reasons for why someone would struggle to be consistent in the first place. The first reason is simply because whatever you're doing isn't effective. The actions you're taking or not taking just aren't getting you closer to the result. You're not losing fat. You're not getting stronger. It's not working. The second reason is whatever you are doing is just unsustainable. That could be due to not having enough mental space, burning out, or it's physically not possible for you to stick to it long term. But guess what? Consistency requires both effectiveness and sustainability, right? Just makes sense. And because this is a video on consistency, I'll show you how to make sure your diet is both effective and sustainable, so it not only gets you leaner, but it's something you can stick to in perpetuity. So first, to make sure your diet is effective, we start with part 1 of the video, knowing your numbers. Eating healthy, avoiding seed oils, cutting out carbs, snacks, and alcohol mean nothing if your weekly numbers still aren't where they need to be. To put your body in a fat burning state, we need to set 2 non-negotiables. First being a calorie ceiling, or the maximum number of calories you're allowed to consume, and second being a protein floor, or the minimum amount of protein you must consume. These 2 metrics will be the foundation of your entire diet, because it is scientifically, mathematically, and biologically impossible to get results without them, unless someone literally chops your arm off. So, how do you determine your calorie ceiling and protein floor? For calories, we'll start by using a TDEE calculator to estimate your maintenance calories. You can look one up on Google for free, enter some basic info, and it'll spit out a number for you. For example, if you're a sedentary 47-year-old male who's 6 feet tall, 240 pounds, your estimated maintenance will be around 2,400 calories. To lose fat, you need to eat fewer than 2,400 calories each day. But because we want results that are noticeable, we usually subtract around 600 calories, giving you a daily target of 1,800. This deficit is large enough to make quick progress, but moderate enough to make hunger and adherence manageable. For our protein floor, you'll simply aim for around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So for our 240-pound example, the goal is 240 grams per day. For many of you, that will sound like a lot, but just work your way up to it and try your best to get close. Higher protein intake supports fullness and helps to preserve lean mass while dieting down. Your calories will determine whether fat loss happens at all, while protein helps with making sure you don't lose muscle and actually look pretty damn good when you're done losing the weight. After you know your numbers, we move to part 2 of the video, which is frequent environments. A diet that only works when you're at home in your kitchen is completely useless as a sales professional. Your schedule is probably pretty unpredictable, crammed with travel, meetings, family obligations, and social events. To be consistent, your diet must be sustainable. For your diet to be sustainable, it needs to work in every environment you find yourself in. So I want you to identify every environment you encounter frequently enough to affect your weekly progress. If you're in and out of hotels, airports, restaurants, drive-thrus, and grabbing snacks from the gas station, each of those things belong in your plan. You need to be able to look at your diet and ask yourself, can this plan survive my actual lifestyle and career obligations? If not, it's not a sustainable plan and you will not be consistent. Maybe you'll be consistent when you're home and not traveling, but you won't be when you're out of town, which means as a whole, you're not consistent. Once you identify these recurring environments, the secret is to build 2 or 3 default meals for each one. The real reason so many sales leaders truly believe they're too busy to get in shape is never actually due to a lack of time, because even the busiest people in the world can be in great shape. Decision fatigue is the real cause of why they feel that way. When your mental bandwidth is consumed by work and family, you won't always have the energy to calculate macros and make a bunch of spur-of-the-moment choices correctly. You shouldn't have to rely on that either. So it's better just have a few pre-planned options you can always fall back on in every scenario. For breakfast at the airport, your default might just be grab-and-go high-protein foods like Greek yogurt, a protein shake, some jerky, and a piece of fruit. If you're stuck getting fast food for lunch, you can hit up Panda Express and get a double teriyaki chicken with half rice, half super greens. And at a steakhouse, you can order an 8-ounce sirloin, a plain baked potato, and steamed veggies. But the goal here is to just take that calorie ceiling and protein floor from part 1 and build your meals around those environments. One of my clients, Will, dropped 80 pounds in 12 months, despite eating almost every one of his meals from restaurants. He was genuinely meeting with clients and entertaining them for 12 to 15 meals a week. It's possible and it is realistic, but you just need the right strategy. If you're interested in my SalesBody program, click the first link in the description to see if it's right for you. Now, after you know your numbers and have built your meals around your true lifestyle, we move to part 3, which is measuring progress correctly. Believe it or not, one of the most common reasons people give up or quit their diet is because they thought it wasn't working when it actually was. If you're only looking at the scale once a week because some influencer told you not to weigh daily, you won't be getting the full picture. Water, sodium, carbs, stress, and travel can each individually raise the number you see on the scale, but it doesn't mean your program isn't working. So if you only weigh once a week and it happens to be on a day you didn't sleep too great or you're holding a bunch of water, the scale may read 3 pounds heavier, even if you followed your diet perfectly. And if you followed it perfectly, it means you lost body fat that week. But if you're not aware of this happening, you'll start freaking out and changing things or getting completely discouraged. To stop this from happening to you, you need to weigh in every morning under consistent conditions and compare your weekly averages. If your average for the week is going down, change nothing. But I don't want you measuring progress using only the scale. Sometimes your body will hold a significant amount of water for a long period of time, and your weekly average may not change that much. This is why we have our clients take progress photos and waist measurements every 2 weeks. An inch off your waist generally correlates to 3 or 4 pounds of fat loss, even if the scale hasn't moved. This is especially common if you're strength training because you will be gaining muscle. If your body is changing and your clothes are fitting better, my advice is almost always to just keep doing what you're doing. And lastly, for part 4 of this video, I want to talk about something that may feel a little uncomfortable, and some of you may even think I'm being a jerk, but a big part in becoming consistent, not just with your health, but with any big time goal you have for yourself, is holding yourself to a higher standard, changing what you are willing to tolerate and accept from yourself. A major reason people stay stuck is that they repeatedly tolerate behaviors that the fit version of themselves would never allow. They've simply become the type of person who refuses to act a certain way. To give you an example, one of my clients, Alex, is a regional sales manager. He came to us with about 15 pounds to lose. Some of you may hear that and think, 15 pounds, that's nothing. But to him, it was enough to piss him off because he wasn't meeting the standard he set for himself. He even told us on the very first call, quote, "The people in my sphere that are in this zone, they're just kind of accepting, like, hey, I'm in business, of course I'm out of shape, but I've just never been willing to accept that." So Alex joined the program to get the help he needed with returning to the standard he knew he should be reaching. Truthfully, and this may hurt a little bit, some of you may have gotten too comfortable with what you've let your body become. You become too accepting of the behaviors that put you in this position. It may be due to burnout, or you just convince yourself that things aren't that bad because you've managed to create a fruitful career for you and your family. But you can have both. You can be the guy who makes money and looks like a beast. But it's not gonna happen if you're content with the health standards you've set for yourself for the past 5 or 10 years. You will not be perfect. You will have bad days. You will miss workouts. But rather than thinking to yourself, well, that's just what I expect of myself, you should be pissed and tell yourself it's part of the game, but let's get back to work. Consistency doesn't require perfection, but it does require you to raise your standards so they match those that the fit version of you would have. We help our clients become unrecognizable from a physical standpoint. Their wives see it, their coworkers notice, their kids wonder, hey dad, where'd your belly go? But what's even more important and impactful is that we help our clients become unrecognizable to themselves from an identity standpoint. They no longer consider themselves the guy who eats like shit and can't stick to the gym, or the guy with a nice car, but his belly touches the steering wheel. They don't even know that version of themselves anymore. They're gone. They became the fit version of themselves who carries those high standards. There is no reason you can't do that too. If you want help in getting there, the link to apply is below. Or if you just have any questions, leave me a comment and I'll respond in less than 24 hours. I hope this was all helpful. I'll talk to you soon.